Up demonstrator. Halsey here from slimandstylish.com. Hope you're all okay and having a lovely bank holiday. I'm just finding you on my iPad so I can see who's here. Let me know if you're here. Today I'm making a fancy fold waterfall card. This is a 3-layer one. So there we go, just found us. Hi Colleen, hope you're okay. Hi Karen. Brilliant, so looks like we're on, looks like everyone's there. I'll get started. So this card here is using the True Love DSP, which is amazing. I love it, really pretty. It's using these 2 sheets, which I put on the side to show you which 2 sheets, but I'm not, oh, there they are. I moved them to use my trimmer 2 seconds ago. So they're using these 2 sheets. So Stampin' Up's DSP mainly is 12 by 12. There are some that are 6 by 6, but these ones are 12 by 12. And they're double-sided with a different pattern on the other side, which is great. It allows for some variety. And these are the 2 that I'm using today. Okay, so it's this one and the opposite sides. This one here and this one. So the card has this lovely sort of belly band ribbon around. This is new ribbon from the new catalogue, and it's gorgeous. And it creates this belly band with the DSP flowers behind it. Okay, and the card itself has these waterfall effect openings. So you've got the one and the other, and it opens like that. And this one is a birthday card for one of my birthdays, one of my friend's birthdays next week. So I've made her a birthday card featuring this. I'm be doing the next one exactly the same. I'm using the same papers and everything else. And just for ease of time, because I was cutting them earlier, I've actually cut out all my pieces, or I think I've cut out all my pieces. You watch me find something later that I haven't cut, but I think I've generally cut most of my pieces. So I'm using the Elegantly Said cling stamp set. This is a bundle in the new catalogue. It is a cling stamp set and it has a coordinating punch, which is this one. Really fancy, and that is what I've used on the front of my belly band there. Okay. So let's get started. If you do pop in, please do let me know you're here. Any questions, anything else, happy to answer them as I go through. If you do enjoy the video by the time you get to the end, could you please give me a thumbs up? That would be really appreciated. Right, so you need a sheet of basic white thick cardstock. Now what I've done is I've done this so you can use it using either the US cardstock or the UK cardstock, and all of my measurements are going to be in inches for today so that it applies to sort of everybody, because I know our cards are different sizes. So what you want to do is you want to cut the A4 piece down to 11 inches, because ours is, as in the UK and I think possibly Europe, is 11 3/4 inches, but I think in America it's 11 inches. So if we cut it at 11, we'll all be able to play along with this card. And it gives you a nice little strip there for, you know, decorating at another time. We don't need it for this one, but I always keep a little box of strips at the side of my desk ready for me to use. And I'm cutting it across at 5 3/4 inches. And another little strip. Again, we don't need it for this one, but always handy for other projects. Okay, so I should mention the size of the finished card is going to end up 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Colleen. I was hoping it would be a size that was convenient for everybody. So there we go. 11 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And that will fit both European and American cardstock. Brilliant. So now we're just going to do some scoring. So to start off with, I'm going to score at 2 1/4 inches. Hi Audrey, hope you're okay. How was your garden visit last week? Did you enjoy? Bet you're glad you didn't do it this week with the rain. So 2¼ inches, 6 inches, and 10 inches. So just to repeat for anyone that's come in a bit later watching, it's 11 inches long, it's 5¾ inches wide, and we've scored it at 2¼ inches, 6 inches, and 10 inches. Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to fold. So normally when I've scored this way, I will fold that way. But for this one here, you want to score in the opposite direction. So you want to bring it back on itself and do it like that. And then turn it the other way around and fold it like that. Okay. And then you want to fold this bit here in as well. So when you've finished, it will look like that. And this one here will be slightly smaller than that one, so that it closes like that and creates this waterfall effect. Okay, now you can be a bit brutal with this, make sure it's sort of sticking down, otherwise it's just going to cause you a problem later when you come to make the belly band. So make sure it sits quite smoothly. Okay. So for decorating these panels, I have got my DSP ready. So this is the one I've previously done. So what I've got is this DSP, which is this sheet here, which has got like 1,000,001 black and white gerberas on this side and some lovely diagonal stripes on this side. So I've got that ready. The first piece is this one here. Now I've cut all of these at 5½ inches long. So these are all 5½ inches. Acrosswise, I have done this at 2, that was 2¼ wasn't it? So I remembered, I cut it before I took the photos ready for it to go live. So there we are, 2 inches. So it's 5½ by 2 inches. So as it goes onto the card, you'll get that sort of gap at the top, and that sort of gap at the bottom. Okay. I've cut a piece of basic black to go underneath it that is also 5½ inches long, and it's 5⅛ inch wide. So what will happen is when I mount this on here, I'll be able to put it up against the crease, and I'll have the same gap at the top, the bottom, and this side, but you'll be able to see the black, and that's what sort of gives it this side waterfall effect as well. Okay, so that's that piece for that section of the card. So if I stick this down, I know I've spoke you through that one. Be the best way for me to know I've done it. Try not to stick my grid paper in the process, obviously. So I want my diagonals to go down. It's up to you which way you have them, but I want for this one for it to go downwards. So completely flush that side, and that side, and it will leave that 1/8 inch gap. So yeah, 2 1/8 for the basic black Karen. So you want it 5½, you want both of them to be 5½ inches long. The DSP you want by 2 inches wide. The basic black you want by 2 1/8 inch wide. And then it will go onto this 2 1/4 panel like that. Okay. And then we've got the big piece here for this section. So once you've all put that on there, I'll stick them all on at the end. You want to pop some DSP and some cardstock on there. So the DSP piece for that is also cut at 5½ inches so that it will look straight all the way across. and is 3.5 inches wide. And again, I've got a piece of basic black for it to go on the back. So this is 3 5/8 of an inch wide, but also 5.5 inch long. My gosh, I'm all mouthy today, aren't I? So 5.5 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, and 3 5/8 of an inch wide. So this can go on here nice and ready. Hi Nikki, I hope you're okay. How did you get on in the week? I was thinking about you on Wednesday. My Stampin' Steel's just ran out, can you believe? Does it not realise that I'm live? I think it's doing it on purpose. So our Stampin' Seal comes in a little bag like this. These are the refills. So you just open up your case like that, take your middle out, pop your refill in, line it up, and there you are. A lot cheaper than buying a new unit because you just get the refill and then you can throw that away. Oh, don't put it back down on where you've already stuck though. Oh, aren't I absolutely useless? Look at that. Whoopsie. Hi Jean, hope you're okay. Thanks for your lovely comment earlier. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one there again, sitting it flush against 3 of the edges so that when it goes into the card it will go like that. This one here will go like that. And so finally we've got this flap here. So what we want is a very thin strip of DSP now. I've done it so it mirrors this end, but you could easily use a different DSP, however you feel like going with it. Again, it's 5.5 inches wide. This is 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch wide, 5.5 inches long. I am not doing well. And this here is 7/8 of an inch wide and 5.5 long again. So you will just have, when you pop that on there, a bit more fiddly this piece, you will just have that gap on that side. I know Karen, you're crafting along, so any questions with measurements or anything, just let me know and I will go back over them. And as I re-stick these to the card, I will repeat my measurements. If I can remember them, we know what my memory is doing. Or you'll laugh about my memory actually. I went to go and see my mum today and my brother. I'm just going to chop that off because I must have just done a little bit too much. It didn't sit quite flush. And so yeah, I went to go and see my mum and my brother today. And I come back, I haven't quite worked the heating out in my new apartment yet. I can work out it comes on at its own time. It comes on at its own level. It's very sporadic. I haven't got a clue. So my way of sorting it out so it doesn't get too hot is I turn the boiler off and it just turns the heating off. So when I went to my mum's, I turned the boiler off because it wasn't going to be in no heating. It was fine. I came back. It's a lovely temperature today, so I didn't need it on. But I thought to myself, oh, I've got about an hour and a half. What shall I do before I start filming? So I thought, you know what? I really fancy a bath. It's a bank holiday. I fancy a bath. So I made myself a really nice bubble bath, jumped in it. Of course, I hadn't put my boiler back on, had I? So I had a freezing cold bubble bath about an hour ago. So there we are. Me and my concentration and my memory. So now I'm going to stick all of these on. There's always a little story of daft things I've done, isn't it? This is the True Love DSP and E-key from the mini catalogue. I can't stop using it. I think it's absolutely lovely. For anyone who likes it, it's only going to be around till about June, so make sure you stock up on it. I don't want to tell you how many packs of this I've bought. Loads, because I love it, really love it. So this one here, I said I was going to repeat the measurements, 5.5 inches, by 3.5 inches for the DSP, 3 5/8 of an inch for the black. Okay, and you're putting it right into the crease there. For this one here, again, 5.5 inches long. The DSP is 2 inches wide, and the basic black is 2 1/8 of an inch wide. And you're sticking it flush onto the fold there, like that. And then the final piece, this little strip here, again 5.5 inches long. Width-wise, it's 3/4 of an inch for the DSP. It's 7/8 of an inch for the cardstock. There we go. And there is the front of the card. All done. Not really, we got to go inside now. So for the inside section, I have got some more DSP. I have got this piece here, which has got the gorgeous flowers on the back, but I actually quite like this spotty piece. So I've already cut this. I've done it at 5.5 inches by 3 5/8 of an inch. So 3 5/8 by 5.5. And I'm just going to stick that straight in and flat. So I'm just going to flick through a few of the comments because I know that a few people are crafting along with me, and because I've already cut my card, I feel like I'm rushing ahead, and they're going to be shouting at me. So yes, oh, I'm really sorry that you do need the surgery, Nikki. Well, at least it's going, you know that you're on the waiting list and there is a fixed date, so that's the positive of it. Oh yeah, you need to hoard it, Jean. It is lovely. I can't even decide which is my favourite sheet. Whenever I decide which one is, it changes and I fall in love with another one. So I've got quite a few of these. Yes, there is. In the back of the annual catalogue this time, there is a host gift, which is DSP, which is amazing. Normally the host bits and pieces in the back of the catalogue are stamps. So I think it's lovely because not everyone who buys Stampin' Up loves the stamps. Quite a few people love our papers, so I think it's great. Host gifts are amazing. You can only get them if you spent over £150, and then you get 10% of that value, which you can either spend on stuff from the catalogue or you can spend on host items at the back of the catalogue. I can't show you the catalogue today, but next week I'll be able to show you where those are. We're not allowed to show it before the 4th of May when it goes live. Tuesday is a live date and I have got a list like literally this big. I keep trying to cut bits out. I can't. Love it all. So really amazing. And that demo bit is gorgeous. If you're based in the UK or Europe and you want a catalogue off me because you haven't had one yet, just get in touch. I've sent them out to everyone who's shopped with me for the last 6 months. But I didn't want to sort of, what's the word? Cold call leaflet everybody. So I've only sent them out to people who've shopped with me unless anyone else requests them. Okay. Hi, Karen. Good morning in Philadelphia. So this final piece, I've done 1 inch wide. And it should fit there, but I'm just beginning to wonder if I've actually cut it at 1 inch wide. Look at that. I'm just going to... Oh, I've cut it at 1 inch and 1/8. Honestly, in case I haven't told you about my head at the moment, it's daft. Or it does daft things. So I'm just trimming that down a little bit off camera. Again, it's 5.5 inches long. It's just cut at 1 inch. So it will go on there like that. That way. And what I've done is I've ran it the opposite way, so I feel like it's a chevron when it opens, but up to you how you do it. Pop your stamping seal on the back. Okay, and as that's just run over, save fiddling around with it, I'm just going to chop that there. Okay, so it's like that, and when it opens, like that. The final section, I have a piece of basic white that is cut again at 3 3/4 of an inch by 5.5 inches. And that will just go onto this middle piece just there. Okay, so for that one I am using the Wishing You a Wonderful Birthday and this lovely flower. I love this set, it's gorgeous. So Memento ink. Start with the flower and then you can work out where you've got room for the birthday. So there's the flower. And what I like about it is there's still sections that you can colour or shade around it, or it looks gorgeous as it is. So best of both worlds with that one. Wishing you a wonderful birthday. And then I'm going to stick that flat on the inside. I know that quite a few of us, me included, loves to use a dimensional or two and pop embellishments on and would quite like to have this popped out and everything. But actually, because you're going to be popping a belly band around the whole thing to try and keep all of the waterfall pieces in place, it's best to have it as flat as possible so that you can put the band around it and keep it all flat. Okay, so to make your band, and there's mine from my other card, let me just grab my punch, heat emboss. I've been using white heat emboss powder and I've got my embossing buddy and I've got some black cardstock here, and I've just got a scrap piece of paper with a fold in the half so I can capture the embossing powder I'm not using. And I'm going to be using the For You sentiment here. I quite like that one. I'm doing an awful lot of white heat embossing onto black recently. I feel if you're going to watch any of my videos on my channel for the next month or so, just have the Versamark ready because it's all I seem to be doing. I fell in love with it at the moment, so you know how you go through those sort of fads of what you like and what you love? This is definitely one at the moment. Now, when you stamp this down, you don't want to go in the corner because you do kind of want it to be in the middle of that punch when you punch it out. So just about there will do fine. Some white Stampin' Emboss powder. There we go. I'll put my lid on that. And then I'm just going off to the side where my heat gun hangs at the moment. It can only get sort of to about here on the video, so apologies. And I would turn me down, by the way, if you've got me on loud. Gets a bit noisy. There you go. And what you want to do is you actually want to cut 2 of these. So I'm going to do my first one. Make sure the for you sort of falls nicely in the middle of the tag. Isn't that a gorgeous tag? I love it. And then I'm just going to grab a second tag. I'll explain to you why I've got the second. When I've decorated this, I've actually put another tag at the back so it slides on and off the card easily. The way these have all been put on is I didn't want any overlaps, otherwise it might get caught on the card and rip it, so I just popped another one on the back, keep it nice and smooth. Okay. Oh yeah, we're on a bank holiday weekend this weekend, so we have 3 days off work, or I do. Some of the poor people in retail don't. And I'm off until Tuesday, so it's a long weekend for me. So yeah, it probably is bank holiday brain, Audrey. Right. Once you've done that, I'm using the other side of this paper. So this spotty paper here, I'm using the other side of it. Now you don't have to use this. You could use one of the other papers. You could stamp some flowers out. You could make any sort of images. I've just used this because I love it. And I have fussy cut a couple of these out. So I've got one of the 2 flowers, one of the 3 flowers, and 2 of the single flowers. So there are the single ones, the 3 flowers and the 2 flowers. Now what you want to do is I would recommend turning this over. So you can work out how wide your belly band is, because you don't want your belly band to be too much wider than your card. You can see this one just hangs over, which will be fine going into our envelopes in the UK because this card's a bit narrower than we usually make. But you want to be aware of how wide you're making your belly band. So if you use this side, just here, and I find it a bit easier to use the white paper, you can see it across it quite nicely. And then start positioning how you want your flowers to fall. So I quite like it like that. So pop some glue on the back. You don't have to pop masses on because, as I said, you're going to be putting this on the back and it'll keep it in place. So there's that piece. And then, oh, I quite like it like that. Yep. So there we go. And then finally, I can either put that up there to cover that, which I think I might actually do. And I'm going to put that one on the side there. So yeah, it's not hanging over loads, just a little bit. Don't stick it to your fingers. There we go. So that's the making of my belly band. The next bit I'm going to do is I'm going to close my card up and grab my ribbon. So the ribbon I'm using is this gorgeous textured ribbon, which is really wide. It's 7/8 of an inch wide, 2.2 centimetres, 10 yards long as well, so you get a load of it. But look at it. And it's got little ridges in it. So actually, if you were going to put a bow in this, it would stay in place. So I'm not putting a bow in it, but if you were, it would work. So what I'm going to do is wrap this underneath the card. And I'm actually going to use my Seal Plus for this because I just really want a good stick. You could also use sticky strip. You could also use fuse if you still had any left. Or a glue dot, that would work. You just want a really good stick. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue Now you worked on the prototype, so why aren't you working now? There we go. Pop some pressure on it. Okay, so about there. Now you don't want it to be massively tight. If you do it tight, you will never get it closed again. So just leave a little bit of a gap, not massive, but just a little bit. So it's a little bit loose, and stick it round. So I've sort of put my fingernail underneath it, and you can see you've just got a little bit of a gap there. So this will go on and off quite nicely. If you'd have put it tight, you'd have struggled. So finally, and you want your seal for this. If you use your Seal Plus on the black paper, I find it tears it a little bit. So you want to put a load of glue onto there. And then you also want to pop some adhesive across where that join is. You want the join to sit directly behind your sentiment so you can't see it. Okay, so pop some Seal Plus on that, just really get some stick going. Which would have worked if I hadn't pulled it off the runner by trying to be too heavy. Right, back onto fuse. There we go. There you are. And then to finish it, as I said, if you pop this behind, line it up, it will just make it really smooth when it goes onto your card then, because it will cover all of the joins, so it won't rip your belly band as it gets pulled on and off and on and off. You know, it's a nice card. You're going to want to open it to sign it, and you're going to want them to open it a couple of times to show people, you know. And you should just be able to loop that back over there and pull it down so it's in place wherever you want it. And to finish it off, I've just used a couple of rhinestones, and I've used our big rhinestones as well. Got really extravagant and use the big ones. So I used 3 of these and put them in the corner, and 1 in the middle. So there you are. There's the card. Quite simple when you know how, isn't it? It's just picking the paper that makes it pop. So make sure you pick the right sort of papers that contrast with each other. And I would recommend, it's obviously up to you, I'd recommend using a patterned one with more of a striped or blander pattern, so that it's not too much contrast between them all. Otherwise you might find they're all competing with each other at the front of your card. But there you go, a nice waterfall fold fancy fold card. Hopefully you like it, fingers crossed. Don't forget the catalogue goes live on Tuesday, so if you are someone who's been sitting there with a massive great big list, me, you can pop your orders in from UK time 11 PM on Monday evening. Okay, and like I said, if you want a copy of the catalogue, let me know. Everything I've used today is available to purchase from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. You go up to the shop bit at the top and you'll be able to purchase it all. If you've liked the video, please do give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again live here on Sunday next week at 4 PM. And I've got a few videos lined up for you in the week, so I'll see you there too. Oh no, what I forgot people, because I'm forgetful. Oh no, I put a tail on this belly band. So I put 2 pieces like that to form a tail and trapped them underneath my punch bit too. Let me show you how I did it, and we'll pretend like I didn't forget it. So I'm going to cut about 2.5 inches. Okay, what am I like? So there's the one tail. There's the other one. So I'll sit like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some seal across the back here. And then pop these. I'm measuring it from the front so I can see where I'm happy with, rather than doing it from the back. Otherwise you'll find that then when you turn it back over, you might not be as happy with the location. To finish that off, I would definitely suggest popping another piece of black cardstock on there. Hopefully you've caught me before you put the black on, and you can now put the black on the back of that. But I would recommend doing that, and that will give you the tails. Okay. Oh, apologies. Totally missed that bit. So that's how you do it to create your little tail on the end of your belly band. So see you everybody next week. I will say my goodbyes again. Now I'm finishing the last amend to the card. Do I have the dimensions written? I don't, Jean, actually. No. But what I can do is, if you drop me an email, I will email them you. Okay, no problem. I generally don't do blogs for my Sunday afternoon live because they're a bit more ad hoc. But while I've got them fresh in my head, just drop me an email and I'll email them to you. Okay. Actually, I tell you what I'll do. This won't load up, so I can't actually comment on this until tomorrow. It takes about 12 hours now for this to load. Tomorrow I will actually come on to this video and I will put it in the comments below. So if you pop back tomorrow, I will have all the dimensions in the comments below, so you'll be able to use them. That sounds more like sense. But until then, it will be processing or something and won't work correctly. Right. You've caught up, Karen. Let's have a look. If you are joining me for the first time, Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout on Facebook, we have a little group. There is an album in there so you can see the pictures from this project. And hopefully if you've made it at home or given it a shot or cased it, which you are more than welcome to do. I feel very flattered when people do that. Please do pop a picture of it in the album. And see you all later on in the week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.